say about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Dante's been playing like that in practice all year, and he's been playing really good over the last 4 games. And you know, he had some good looks in the first half, and you know, we struggled in the first half, and you know, I think he was upset with himself at halftime, and he came out, and you know, he was very, very animated in the huddle before he went out. And he just did what a senior does.
How much of those first 2 threes that he had kind of, you know, buoy the rest of the guys?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I keep telling these guys, like, the way, as hard as they play in the defensive end is what I see every day in practice. And what happened in the second half is what I see every day in practice. And I'm like, you guys gotta reward yourself eventually. You know, the fans aren't gonna cheer because you keep getting defensive stops. That's not the way fans work. I said, they wanna see the ball go in the hoop. And I said, you guys, I mean, we held them to 7 points, but we have 6 at home. Like, it's kind of mind-boggling. So eventually they just, you know, they relaxed, and seeing the ball go in really helped.
You know, probably no such thing as a must-win in January, but to have this game before you go on the road against Illinois and Northwestern, how important is that?
No, I mean, we're pretty much at a must-win in every game. So, I mean, that's kind of how the beginning of the season kind of put us behind the 8 ball. But I also think that, you know, this is a team that if we can get better offensively, the way we play defensively is going to give us a good chance.
Kevin, what can you say about Deshaun, you know, attacking the rim today very effectively, and it seemed like one of his more productive outings in about a month?
Yeah, I mean, Deshaun's been putting a lot of work in every morning in the gym. Yeah, he's still trying to figure out Big Ten basketball, and I love the fact he came out in the second half. He wanted the basketball. He made the first aggressive drive of the half. He's been working hard. He's obviously frustrated with the way he's shooting the basketball, but for a freshman that's playing the minutes he's played, he's the second leader in plus minus on the team. You know, I just try to keep telling him all the positive things that he does. He's such a great passer. He can get other guys involved. We had Deshaun plays 34 minutes and Jamie Kaiser plays 31 minutes. There's no other team in college at the high level playing 2 freshmen that many minutes. So for those guys and Deshaun and Jamie to play that well, I think is really, really encouraging.
Kevin, what did you think of Julian's value of the defensive end tonight, particularly those couple blocks in the last minute or so?
Yeah, I mean, I get on Ju a lot because I think he's the best big man in the country, and I expect him to play like that all the time. I think sometimes because he knows he's got to be out there a lot, gets a little lazy on defense, and he'll be the first one to tell you that. But you know, I think he's the best big guy. So anything he does doesn't surprise me. I mean, that's just Julian.
The ability to actually press a little bit there off a handful of makes, I think it was a couple times in the first half, a couple times in the second. How much did that kind of rev you guys up, just given the fact that you did take advantage of a handful of opportunities, you had to do that at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the second half, it just, I think we scored 4 times in a row at one point, and just to be able to work Llewellyn, you know, the young man played his heart off. I was so impressed with how well he played for the fact that he got thrown into the fire, and I thought he played great. But the whole thing was just wear him down, so he wouldn't be able to make shots down the stretch.
Can you bring it up to Marcus, please?
Coach, Juju had some early touches in the second half. Was that something that you had spoken about in the locker room?
We try to throw him the basketball as much as possible. I mean, he got the first 6 touches in the first half, and they just did a great job double teaming him. So we went away from our post stuff and tried to get him basketball pick and rolls, so they couldn't double him.
And your defense, you've spoken about it. They look much different in the second half. On offense, was there something in particular you took away in those last 20 minutes?
No, I think the biggest thing is we switched from a zone press to our man press. Just because we gave them, Reed got a dunk, 42 got an open 3 in the corner against our zone press because they're putting 2 shooters out there. So we just switched up to our man press and just tried to make it a little bit more difficult for them to bring it up and get into their stuff. You know, Juwan runs great sets. I mean, he's got a great offensive package, so just trying to get them out of their flow was probably the biggest thing we changed up.
George?
Kevin, I know it's hard to quantify a second half like that, but is there anything that you can do to reinforce how those guys felt, how those guys played as the season goes on, as they continue to go down league play?
I wish I had a really good answer for that, but I don't. I mean, I see that every day in practice. That's my frustrating thing. I guess that's where I get frustrated at times is, that's the way that group plays most of the time in practice. I just think it's sometimes, because we struggle to shoot so much, that struggle has just led to everything else struggling. So sometimes you just gotta see the ball go in the hoop, and I think that was the magic elixir, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It seemed like when you guys kind of turned around that second half, it was a pretty hectic style of play. You know, as a team that likes to press and kind of apply pressure like that, is that kind of a style of basketball that you feel like this team thrives in?
I think it's a way we have to play, but it's also, you know, we're built much differently than we were last year. It's one reason our press has started, I've changed the way we're pressing, just put it that way. Which making that adjustment mid-year has taken some time, but, you know, we've gone from a zone press, we went to man, we also have put a three-quarter court press in just because we're bigger than we were last year. Last year, Don and Jameer really understood how to work a 2-2-1 and drop back into it. With having Jamie out there, with having Dante in a new position, with having Deshaun out there, we just haven't been as effective as we were with the same press. So we're trying to press. We also haven't just scored enough to really, I hate to say it, get good. You can practice it all you want, but until you go into a game and make game mistakes and make game adjustments, you know, it's really easy to sit there and practice and say, okay, this is what they're gonna run, this is what they're gonna do, but when you've missed 7 shots in a row and then you have to press, it's a little bit different. So we've had to switch it around a little bit just because our personnel is much different.
Kev, what was the message at halftime?
We watch film at halftime, so we just watched our offense, and saw what was open, where we open. We missed 8 open shots in the first half, so sometimes you just have to you have to show them sometimes, like, hey, you guys are getting good shots, we're gonna make shots, just keep doing things. We watched how they guarded Jew's post-ups, and then we watched how they were defending Jameer's pick and rolls. And sometimes you gotta show them what's open, where it's going on. But that's all we do at halftime. I don't yell, we just make adjustments off film.
You had 5 players play more than 30 minutes. Next one was 17 minutes. Do you have any concerns about the bench?
Oh, no, I mean, college basketball usually plays 7 at the most, maybe 7.5. There's so many timeouts in the second half. They sit more than they play in the second half. There's 5 3.5-minute timeouts, so I don't know what that equals, but it equals a lot. So for the most part, just about everybody in college basketball plays 7 to 7.5 guys. The only time you really play more is if you get foul trouble. Thank you.
Thank you.